Krushelnyski. And home from Merrimack College.
Boston Bruins Alumni TV, John Horrigan, joined by Mike Krushelnyski. 14 years in the NHL. He broke in with the Boston Bruins, was traded to the Edmonton Oilers, had 43 goals in 1985, NHL All-Star team. He would go on to win 3 Stanley Cup championships with the Edmonton Oilers. He was then traded to the Los Angeles Kings along with Wayne Gretzky. We'll get into that in a sec. And then he was a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs Conference Finals team in the early 90s, and then concluded his career as a member of the Detroit Red Wings as an assistant coach, collecting a 4th Stanley Cup championship ring. Cruiser, welcome, buddy.
Hi, Johnny.
Cruiser, one of the best ambassadors in all hockey, folks, and that's what makes hockey players the best of all professional athletes. I've toured with this man for several years, and he allows kids, parents to put on his championship rings. In fact, you got them in your hands right now over here, the rings. All the rings from the championship days. First, let's start about breaking in with the Boston Bruins. It was a young team when you came in, early 80s, guys like Tommy Fergus, Luc Dufour, Normie Levier, etc. Talk about that, breaking in when the Bruins were transitioning from the big bad Bruins to the younger.
Well, we were I was still fortunate enough to be drafted by them, so my first training camp, Jerry Cheevers was still in nets. So I got this picture of myself sitting here, Cash is on one side, Cheesy's on the other, and he's like, "Kid, you better be back checking. You're a young kid now." I'm like, "Yes, sir, yes, sir." So, I was very lucky. Got to break in with Terry O'Reilly, Wayne Cashman, Brad Park, that whole crew, and then be lucky enough to be on a line with Ricky Middleton and Barry Peterson, and it was like we thought we had all the components. We're just a player or two short, and 8 of us get traded 2 years later. We're like, what's going on? But it was a lot of fun. The guys were great. Not only were they great players, but Boston guys were actually all NHL, all hockey people. They're all great people. So it's very fortunate to be part of that family.
You get traded to the Edmonton Oilers for Kenny Linsman, and they put you on a pretty good line, and you get 43 goals to go to the All-Star game. What was that like?
Scored 23, 25, asked Harry for a $5,000 raise, and he trades me. But lucky enough, I got on line with Krushelnyski. Had a good year, 43 goals off to the All-Star game. They had already won their first Stanley Cup, so I had to learn what they learned from the year before, and it was just amazing. I remember our first exhibition game, we'd be losing 4-2, and they're cracking jokes and laughing. This is third period. I'm like, "Come on, you guys gotta get serious." And Glenn said, "Why don't you just go score a couple of goals, get a couple of assists, and win the game for us?" And go get 2 goals. We end up winning the game. I'm like, what do these guys know that I don't? So,
wow.
So it was a learning process. But we had a lot of fun, great skill here, but there was even more skill. It was, we'd give up 2-on-1s, 3 breakaways a game, and Grand Fury would be just, "I'll move the puck, boys, don't worry about it." We're like, wow, And then you had Messi and Anderson and Kopp and Krushelnyski and just the rest of the crew. Was great to be part of.
So after you have that great first season with Edmonton, on the line with Gretzky and Curry, then Slats decides your role's going to change.
Yeah, all of just before we went out our exit meetings that year after we won the Stanley Cup, and he's like, "Think you get 50?" I'm like, "Yep." So all summer I'm like, "Oh, I'm coming back with Krushelnyski. I'm coming back." And then all preseason the next year, Krushelnyski Cruiser, first home opener, Krushelnyski Teakin and Cruz, "I need you to shut people down." But you know what? We won. So we can't argue with the man's logic or what he was thinking. But
by the time of '88, you guys wipe out the Boston Bruins in the '88 Cup Finals. And then the team, it's the biggest trade in sports history, they say. When you were sent to the LA Kings, and they threw in a couple of other guys.
And the press got that trade all wrong. It was, Gretz went for the 5 first-round draft picks. McSorley went for Shelna. I was the guy that went for the $15 million. I think Marty and I altered that story.
So you go out to the LA Kings rebuilding.
Yeah. It was exciting. It was awesome. Hockey was known. Marcel, Dave Taylor, and Charlie Simmer had carried that franchise for the longest time, but I gotta admit, when Gretz got there, he brought it to another level. I remember driving downtown on a billboard. On the building, you would see a 45, 50 tower building with Magic on one side and Gretz on the other, and we're driving by wow, And hockey was exciting. Bruce had us going to black tie affairs like once every 10 days, 2 weeks. It was awesome. Get to meet everybody. Hollywood was infatuated with the new LA Kings, and here I am. I'm always watching them on TV, so it's like, oh wow, you know, Bruce Springsteen, and all of them. It was Sylvester Stallone. They're like, Cruiser, can we get a picture? I'm like, oh yeah, come on, baby, come on. It was awesome.
And they never got the cup, but they got close a few times with that team. And again, there's so many Hockey Hall of Famers. Robitaille team too. So. And then you move to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they're on the incline as well. And again, they hadn't won the cup since '67. It looked like that was going to be the year '93, I believe.
Well, let's back up to we were on the plane.
Yep.
And I remember I was sitting next to Tanel, and he's like, Toronto, interested in big center, out west. And he looks, he goes, Cruz, you're going. I'm like, come on. He's all experienced, knows what he's doing, got it, you know, he's been won the cup. He's like, you're going. I'm like, Marv. Went up to Gretz, came back and goes, you're not going anywhere. 2 plane rides later, traded to
Wow.
Toronto. They were in a rebuilding stage. And, you know, I actually liked my tenure there with Tom Watt. I think he was a great coach, great motivator. Taught us the game, and then it ended up. We ended up getting a lot of trades were made. Cliff Fletcher made a lot of trades and brought us to the '93 series against LA, and got rooked in Game 6 on a missed call. But then we still had a chance, and Gretz gets 4 points and 4 points out of 5, and we lose 5-4. It was like unbelievable.
It was a great way to end your NHL career playing with Toronto and all those storied franchises, original 6 franchise. And then after your playing days, you went over to play in the K. You're a Ukrainian. You speak fluent Ukrainian, don't you?
Yeah.
And you went over to play in the K for a little while.
No,
Actually,
I coached.
You coached over there, right?
So I had one more year of playing for Detroit. It was a lockout year. My body was falling apart. I remember walking out of the house and I was walking like this. And the wife looks at me and she's like, something wrong? I'm like, yeah, I think. My back had gone out, L45S1. So I knew I was on borrowed time, and went to Detroit, and they were looking just for experience and a guy that can come in and out, play in the 3rd, 4th lines, take some draws, and I was like, perfect. Unfortunately, we lost to Jersey in the finals, so I never get to win my last game. That's why I keep playing.
So with the Alumni, and then you go on to become an assistant coach with the Red Wings, and you get your 4th ring. You won the Stanley Cup championship with all those Russians.
I was over in Italy and got a phone call in the middle of the night. Mike, it's Scotty Bowman. Want to join us? We need a coach. Yep. 26. Be on the plane.
That was it.
That was it. I got up the next morning, like, was that a dream or what? Like dialing phone calls. I'm like, because it was the time change and all that. And they're like, nope, you're coming back. I'm like, oh, awesome. So got to join the guys, and Barry had left for Sweden. He needed a reprieve of just to get away, and they brought me in, and then Barry came back, and I got a bit. Barry Smith.
Barry Smith, okay.
It was a pretty good fit because Dave Lewis, like they were in a panic, who are they going to get? And Dave Lewis says, why don't we get Cruiser? He's played here, he knows the system, knows the guys, know what we're doing. We know we can trust him, and worked out great. Got another ring.
And another ring, a 4th ring.
Yes, sir.
And then you go over and coach in the K, in the Russian Hockey League. What was that like?
You know, it was awesome. I go back tomorrow. I love the big ice surface. It was, you really had to be tactical and thinking. If I put the wrong players out at the wrong time, it would only be a matter of time, because it would just tic-tac-toe. They tire you out, and bang, it's in the net. And, you know, it's hard to come. The only way I can explain it is, it's like watching Olympic hockey all the time. They could play in that big ice surface. Why is it so? You know, we've told the GMs years ago, you got to revert to bigger ice. I mean, the guys are getting bigger. You've got guys on the ice right now that are 6'8", 6'9", and skate like the wind. You know, and the one component, the rink has not grown. So it's, you wonder why we got so many injuries, and I know why the NHL are trying to, prevent the headshots and hits from behind, but guys are just too big. They've got to go to that Olympic-sized ice surface. But then again, is it 3-on-3 exciting?
Oh, absolutely.
Bring on more of that. So, yeah, it was, that's what it was like over in Europe. A lot of playmaking, a lot of puck carrying.
And today, now working with the NHL alumni, Boston Bruins alumni, you've skated with the Leafs alumni. It's great because you go out to remote areas across Canada and the United States where they have an arena, small towns and villages. But I've seen you work in meeting the kids and the parents and all the fans, and you just leave a big smile on their face and their wonderment when they put on those rings.
Well, that's what people don't realize is, like, we've gone on those trips together and they're great. The people in all these little cities are wonderful. We have such a great time. I know you get a kick out of broadcasting, and this guy, the best, I've got to admit, this guy, the Russian team came in, remember? Boston? The Russian team came in and they were stuck, and at the last second the promoter got a hold of John and he was broadcasting the game, like Yakashev over to Kruta, back to this guy. He knew them all by heart. I'm like, how did he do that in 1 minute? And he called the whole game. Stefan Yell, myself, Ray Bork, Ron Duguay. That was the best I've ever seen. But
and after that, they said, "You come with us to Detroit."
Yes.
No. I live here. I can't. No. Get to your bag. Come with us to Detroit.
Yeah.
No. I'll go out to my car. I'll be right back. I drove home.
Yeah. But you know what? Like, we enjoy. Like, I still enjoy playing on the ice. I'm getting a little bit older, a little bit slower, but the kids carry me. They set me up for a couple of shots. It's awesome, and I guess the way that we reciprocate is by, putting a smile on someone's face. That's in my eyes, that's what it's all about. If we can, the kids, they come out, the fans, they come out. Maybe they don't get the experience, the NHL, but we've got to give them something to walk away with smiling. So
absolutely,
we're lucky people, right?
You're one of the best. Mike Krushelnyski, Boston Bruins Alumni TV.
Hey, brother.